as discussed earlier. So first of all, what is the test case? Test case is nothing but a document with user action and its response. That is nothing but and the subsequent response of a user action. Whenever we perform any user action, obviously we'll be getting some response from the system. So it's simple, a document with user action and its subsequent response, that is nothing but expected result. Mainly these two things, expected and user action. These two things is mainly drafted from user requirement document. It may be FRS or it may be RS, use case or any. But generally, these two will be drafted from so-called requirement specification document. A document with a user action and its subsequent response is basically known as a test case, a general definition of your test. Now, so do we have any rules actually? If someone asks you like what is a test cases writing techniques, what techniques you have used to write the test cases? Basically, the test cases writing techniques are your black box testing techniques. So we use black box testing techniques to write the test cases generally. Okay, it may be BVA, ECP, or any other. But anyways, normally the black box testing techniques are known as test cases writing techniques. Clear? Now, so do we have any rules before writing the test cases? And before that, where we write these test cases? Basically, these test cases can be written in Excel sheet. Test cases are normally written in sheet. Excel sheet. Can't we write in another format like Notepad or WordPad or somewhere or Word document? We can do it, but basically Excel sheet is much easier to generate the test cases. Okay, if even if you want to do in the Word, you can do it, but it is not such feasible. And moreover, if you do it in Excel, it's very easy to import them to the quality center. I will explain you that in the quality center chapter. And if you are using any test management tool called quality center, and even you can write the test cases in quality center, you can write in an Excel sheet or we can write in the quality center also. But generally, we'll be writing all your test cases in Excel sheet. We're not writing in quality center. Quality center has an option, but still a lot of people do write the test cases in Excel sheet. Easy of use. Okay. Yes. And this is what where we write the test cases. Do we have any rules to write the test case? Yes, we do have. Very first thing is it follows some naming convention. Whenever we are writing a test case ID, we need to follow some naming convention. Naming convention. Not only the naming convention, and even we need to follow few more things. Like the test cases, what you are trying to write should be simple and easy. It should be simple and easy to understand. Simple and easy, and it should be comprehensive. Don't make it such complicated. Don't use such complicated words in it. Why? Because here, whenever you write a test cases is nothing but the user actions what we perform on the application, right? So whenever we write the test cases, there are high chances that you will be executing them. But in a few cases, your colleague may also or someone may also execute it. So that may be depending on the reason. Even if you have leave organization, or else there may be some reason. Some cases you will be busy with some other task and you'll be not able to execute it. Someone will execute in place of you. If that is the thing, even you need to understand the things. Yes or no? Even you need to understand things clearly. So that is the reason the test cases should be simple and easy to understand. If you write it complicated, right? If you write it in a different manner, where it makes difficulty to understand by the others, right? So that is the reason we ask you to write the test cases in a simple and easy way, so that everyone can easily understand it and they can perform the testing activity on the application, right? And this is the second most important point. And the next one is, whenever we write a test cases, make sure to develop valid and invalid data depending on the requirements. Means we need to write positive test cases and negative test cases. We need to write valid data test cases, and we need to write invalid data test cases. Means we need to test an application with valid flow, and we need to test an application with invalid flow also. This is very important. See here, whenever you are trying to test a login application, let's assume that it is taking the valid data. If I write username, password, and click on sign in, yes, it is taking up. It is taking up the valid data. I'm very much happy with that. But with the same importance, it should reject the invalid data too. If it takes the valid data and if it is stop taking the invalid data, then that is not the good idea, right? It should take the valid data with the same importance. It should take the invalid data too. Sorry, it should reject the invalid data too. Yes? Yes or no? So if it is taking the valid data, we are very happy. With the same importance, it should reject the invalid data too. Okay? Okay. Now, so we'll be writing valid and invalid things. Valid with the valid test data, invalid in the negative flow. Negative flow, the invalid data. Okay? Yes. So this is three things what we need to keep in our mind while writing the test cases. Okay. Now, so let me show you a simple test case and we'll see it. And moreover, as I said, test cases will be written in some Excel sheet. And every company uses its own template, test case template, in the sense with some predefined components in it. Every company uses its own test case template. Okay? Yes.
Hello?
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 Yeah, can you hear me?
Brians, I can hear you.
What the on the test case Excel sheet, the QC, what does it mean?
This is what I have explained to you, like where we write the test cases. We can write in the Excel sheet, or else we have a tool called Quality Center. If you want, you can write in the Quality Center too. That is what I mean to say.
Okay,
A lot of companies uses Excel sheet only, but still we have an option to write in the Quality Center also. That I am going to explain you in the Quality Center chapter, not now. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Has its own test case template. Test case template. Template in the sense with some predefined components in it, right? And almost like it's something like this. Like if I am my company using a template that looks very different from your company template, but the core summary remains the same. Means if I can write a test cases in my company's Excel sheet, in my company's template, then even I can write in your company's Excel sheet also, in your template also. Means it looks different in a UI based. Maybe the colors, logos, and all those will be different, but ultimately the process remains the same. The fields almost remain the same in an Excel sheet. Almost remains the same in an Excel sheet. So let me show you things once again. So before going to that, let me show you few test case templates. This is one of the test case what you are seeing on the screen. So just have a look on this. It has a few fields like test case ID, the whole description of the test case, created by, who is reviewed, what is the version you are trying to do, and the QA tester's log, the tester name who is going to test it, the date of it, the test case, whether the whole test case is passed or not. Before executing the test cases, do you have any prerequisites? Any data should be entered, the test data. And if you can see it here, test scenario and the step details, expected, actual, whether it is passed or failed. Okay, so this is one of the template. And here I'm going to show you the other test case template. It looks a bit different, but all the fields remain the same once again. This here, dependency, precondition, test priority, logo of the company, the project name, module, and designed by date and all those things. And here test case description, that is title they have given, test summary, test step, data, expected. If you have any condition, P or post conditions can be written here. Is that clear? So almost look the same. I mean, the fields are almost the same. The UI has been changed, but it's not such difficulty to understand it. It's look the same. And I'm going to show you one more test case template. That template we are going to use in the class. And I'm going to explain you each and every field of that template. Here we go. So this is the template what we are going to use in our coming classes. Okay. So just here they have given few things like project name, module, documents, and author, so that we can fill it very easy. But let's focus on this column names. Let's start with test case ID. This is the very first field in your test case. It can be test case ID or test case name. Test case ID or test case name. So this test case ID or name works like a label for the test case. So it should have a naming convention. It has a naming convention and we need to follow it. Basically, it starts with a unique number called test case 001 or test case 0023 depending on the number of test case in a sequence. If it is the first test case, then obviously it will be test case 001 and followed by on which project you are trying to work. I am working on e-banking project. And in the e-banking project, we are working on home page. In the home page, we are trying to work on visitor links. This is the thing. In test case 1, we are working on e-banking. In the e-banking, we are working on home page on a visitor link. So first, we'll be starting with test case number, that is test case 001 or anything else, followed by main project name, followed by module name. Home page is a module here. And if you have any sub module, then we need to write even the sub module also. Sub module. And after that, the functionality what you are trying to test. This is the naming convention. It should follow with test case, unique number, followed by the project name, module, and functionality. So that if someone have a look on this test case ID, then he need to understand for what he has written the test case. Like you have written the test cases and after a few days you are reviewing it. And once looking at the test case name or ID, you need to know like what exactly we have written there. Is that clear? Yes. Next, test case description. And if I can show you a few other test case names, just have a look on this. In the second test case, when I am trying to write a test case 2 here, start with test case 002 and again the remains the same. Main project, module, and the functionality. Test case 3, 4, 5, like all the test cases, it remains the same. Okay, so here the functionality keeps on changing. The first functionality is I'm testing the visitor links this year. Whenever I have taken a second test case, I'm trying to test the admin login with valid data. Here I'm trying to test with admin login with invalid data, right? Banker's valid data I'm trying to test. So the functionality changes if the test case change in a lot of cases, and whether there is no guarantee that functionality should also change. But just try to understand the concept. Next, test case description. This is the very next field after test case ID. So here we are going to write your main reason behind writing the test case 001. Your intention, goal, or scope to write this test case 1. Write a test case 1. So why? Simply we are not going to write it in test case, right? We need to have some goal behind that. We'll be having some expectation behind that. We'll be having some challenge behind that. So what is that? Why we are exactly conducting this test case 1? What is your primary goal? Scope should be written in test case description. Test case description is nothing but the goal or scope of the test case. Why we are conducting the test case. So that should be given in the test case description. That should be given in the test case description. Step name is generally step 1, step 2, step 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the major thing what we need to understand is every step name will have at least one step description and expected result. At least one step description and expected result. At least one step description and expected result. Okay.
Mr. Karen, are you going to provide us with all these sample files so we can have it as a reference?
Repeat it, please.
Are you going to provide this file as a reference so we can
You have this with you already.
study up on this?
You have this.
We have
it.
Okay.
I have forwarded to the material folder, right? Material folder. A folder with a name called material. If you haven't received it, just drop your email ID. I will send it to you again. But I have provided you a folder with a material name. In that folder, if you can move on to here, the material, we have a manual documents. In the manual documents, we have a folder with a name called test case. Here we'll be getting things, all the test cases.
Oh, okay. I'll check. Thank you.
Step 9. So every test case will have a step name, and every test name should contains at least one step description and expected result. Now, test data. This is very important. Test data is nothing but a data which is used to perform the step description. What is step description? The user action. Enter URL. Click on home. Click on personal banking. Means the user performance on the end application. What the user is going to do on the end application, that is given under step description. That is given under step description. What the user is going to do on the end application, that literally given under this. Enter URL. Click on home. Click on personal banking. Click on corporate banking. These are the user actions. And to perform some user action, you need to help of some data. Enter URL. So what is that URL? That we need to write it here. The bank's URL. Clear? And if you can come down here, then you'll get a clear idea. Enter URL and click on go. So what is the URL? You need to write it here. Enter username, password, and click on login. And what is that username and password? We need to write it here. Got it? Yes. So step description is nothing but a user action what is going to perform on the end application. And every user action will have one response. Yes. So what is that response? What we are expecting that response, that should be given in the expected. Whenever someone clicks on home page, we are expecting that it should take to the home page of bank. Whenever someone clicks on corporate banking, it should display the information about corporate banking, right? So these two things, step description, expected result, should be drafted from your requirement documents, as it may be a FRS, it may be a BRS, it may be a design document, anything. but literally we need to get the information from the documents. You are not going to describe your own step description and expected result. We need to draft it from the particular documents. It may be a use case or FRS or any other similar document. You're not going to write it, you're not going to create your own functionality or own step description expected. Whatever given in the documents, we need to draft it in a step-by-step manner. That is what actually the test case is. That's it. Okay. So this is till writing the test cases. So here, up till here, we'll write the test cases and we'll keep that aside. And after that few days, the application is ready. Once the application is ready, we are going to perform the step description on the end application. My application is available now, my banking website. Now, whatever the step description says, the description say click on home page. I'll be clicking on home page. It is saying I'll click on personal banking. I will click on personal banking. It is saying I'll click on corporate banking. I will click on corporate banking. So whatever the step description say, I'm going to follow it. Literally, I'm going to follow it. And whenever I perform this activity, see here, I need to expect system should behave something like this. And I'm going to perform the task which is given in the step description on the end application. And I'm going to, once I perform the step description on the end application, let's assume that I have clicked on corporate banking. System will respond, right? Something, system will respond. You need to watch that respond and we need to write that in the action. System has moved into corporate banking. Okay. So after that, we need to compare both expected and actually. Both are identical, the status is pass. Both are identical, the status is pass. Else it is fail. Simple. Got the point? So we need to perform this user action on the end application. Whenever we perform this user action on end application, system will respond. Whatever it responds, that response we need to write in the actual. After that, we need to compare this your expected and actual. If both are identical, pass. Else it is fail. As simple as. Else it is fail. Is that clear with this test cases template? Any doubts on this document before going ahead with the other class? Is everything fine, guys?
Yes, that's good. So, can I ask you a question,
Yep.
Mr. Karan?
Yes.
So when we write down these test cases and everything works, and if it doesn't work, then we do the retesting and regression thing?
Perfect.
Those steps?
Yes. First, we'll writing the test cases, and after the writing the test cases, your application is ready. We'll be performing the testing activities on the application. If something went wrong, means if the actual and the expected are deviated, whenever we perform so-called this activity on the end application, you have clicked on personal banking, and application has responded that page not found. So what we have expected and what actually happened has been deviated. So this particular is failed. So we'll be reporting this to the developer. Okay. And developer will fix us that and he will recall back that I have fixed it. Right? Yes. So on that we'll be performing retesting and regression testing again. Again this test case 1 with all the steps will be tested once again. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Let's start writing the test cases. Let us write a simple test case for some Gmail login. Okay. So let me take an Excel sheet. Okay. So let's write a simple test case for this Gmail login. Gmail login. So how it works? So whenever we write gmail.com, it should populate up this page where we are going to write a username and click on next. If username is valid and if you click on next, then it will display a password field. So where we are going to write a password, and if you click on sign in, then it will take you to the Gmail inbox. So here my primary intention of performing this test is to check whether it's taking me to the Gmail inbox or not. That is what the test, what I am supposed to do now. To check whether the application is taking me to the Gmail inbox or not after successful login. Okay, the only primary agenda that it should take us to the inbox. I have a valid username and password. Don't worry about that. I already have a valid username and password. Let's assume that. So only the primary thing is that I need to check whether it is taking me to the inbox or not. If it is taking me the inbox, then it's great. So let's begin. Test case ID. Test case 001. We are working on Gmail. Main Gmail. Either we are trying to test login, right? Test case description. Verify whether system navigate to inbox after login. This is actually what we want. You are trying to test whether it will take you to the inbox or not, right? So the core intention, actually what we are expecting from the system, why we are writing the test case, your main goal or scope should be written in the second. So step name is nothing but should start with step 1. Okay, so what is the description? First we need to open the Gmail website. So for that, enter URL, and or else we can start simple like this. Open browser, enter website address or URL, and click on next. Or so what is that website address? Gmail.com. Let's say. And what happens if you open a browser and if you enter Gmail address and click on go? So it should display a page with some login facility, right? So it's a one account for all, or else one account all for Google, or else a sign in option. So whenever we click on, whenever we write gmail.com and click on go, system should display Gmail login page. Okay, this is till writing the test cases. That's it. So we'll not write the actual now, just up till expected. Step 2. Okay, so we are into this page now. What I need to do, I need to enter the name, username. I need to click on next. Enter valid username and click on next. What is that valid username? You can write it here. So enter valid username and click on next. So what happens if you enter valid username and click on next? If the username is really valid, system accepts username and should display. System should accept username and should display password box or password enter option, or password field, anything. Okay. Step 3. So basically, whenever we write a valid username, click on next. System will intake, it will show the username. Along with that, it will give option to write the password. Step 3. Enter password and click on sign. And what is the password you are supposed to write? You can write it here. And when I click on sign in, what we need to expect? This is the primary thing. I need to expect from the system. System should navigate to inbox. This is actually what I am expecting, right? Yes, this is how we write the test cases in a step by step. What user is going to do? A step 1. And any data I want? Yes. Step 2. Enter valid username means some step. Step 3. Same. Is it clear? Now, so whenever we perform the step description, system will respond. Right? So that will be same. So this is what we are expecting it. We don't know whether system really works like expected or not. This is just our expectation. System may work according to the expectation, system may not work. If your system works according to your expectation, then it's fine, great and good. If it is not working, then the problem comes. As a tester, we need to think logically and we need to test multiple ways to find the errors. Okay. Now let's try to execute the test case. So for execution the test cases, so we need to have the application on. So this is your application. So enter URL and click on go. Let's say that I have entered the URL and clicked on go. So as I said, system should display home page. System should display login page. System should display. Now system, I can say that system had a display. Right? That is what I have expected in the earlier case. Now it really happened. So system had displayed Gmail homepage, login page. So what the step description says, the next one, enter valid username and click on next. So let's enter the valid username. Enter the valid username and just click on next. See here, it has accepted the username and it has displaying the password field. So system had what we have expected earlier. Now I need to say system should. Here I say system should. Now I said system had accepted username and had displayed password field. It is displaying the password field, or system is displaying the password field. So anything, you can frame the sentence according to your principles. Okay. The only thing is that it should be something like that. This we are expecting it, and here it actually happened. Perfect. So what is the step 3 says? Enter password and click on sign in. So whatever the step description say, we need to do that. So let's write the password and click on sign in as the step description says. What's the actual behavior? This is actually, as a manual tester, you need to do it. Watch, that is moving into the inbox or outbox. What is the behavior of an application? It has been successfully taken you to the inbox. You are in inbox now. System had navigated to inbox. System had navigated to inbox. Right? Yes. Now check the things. Expected and actual. System should display Gmail. Yes, it is displaying the Gmail. Both are identical. So the status will be pass. Even here also both are identical. The status is pass. Here system should navigate to inbox, and here really system has navigated to inbox. Even it is also same. The state is pass. In the manual testing, the three things: one, the user action, whatever the step names or whatever the step description says, you have literally performed this activity on the end application. This is first task. Whatever the step description says, we need to do that. Next, after doing that, we need to watch the actual behavior. You have watched it while it is moving into the inbox, right? So watch the actual behavior and provide the status to the step. These are the three things what exactly you are going to do as a manual testers. Clear? Yes. Now, so let me save this so that I can send you this document for your reference. Okay. Now I have a document with me where I have few information. So let's write test cases for this. I have a user registration form here, which is in abc.com website, and here we have input fields, and every field has limitation. Username should contain 4 to 16 characters. First name should contain 4 to 16 only alphabets. Last name the same, and password has some limitations. Like every field here have some limitations, right? So first thing what we need to do, by using this data, I need to derive the test data. Yes or no? Before writing the test cases, what we do, guys? We'll be deriving the test data by using BVA and ECP concept. BVA and ECP concept will be deriving the test data because we need to test an application with the best possible ways. That is what the test case is writing technique. So first, using this information, we'll be deriving the test data and we'll keep that aside. So here in the class, I have derived a test data for username. It's already given here. The username valid and invalid test data, and even for the first name also I have derived it. This is for the username, valid, invalid. This is for the first name. Okay. Yes. And even here they have given few limitations. After entering up all the valid data, and if you click on sign up, if you enter all the valid data and click on sign up, system should respond saying a message saying that user successfully registered. User successfully registered. That is what actually what we get from system. Okay. So we need to write the test cases for it, for this user registration form. So how many test cases we can write it? What are the ways to write it? How to manage the valid data? How to manage the invalid data? How to check alternate testing? So all those things we'll be having in our next session. Okay. In the next session, first we'll have a look on this type of things, and then after I will show you a real FRS document. Using the FRS document also we'll be writing the test cases and we'll be performing our testing activities. Is that clear? So today we'll be ending up session here, and we'll be meeting up again on Monday, right?